Hello and welcome to Combat Talk Podcast. My name is Charlie, and we are joined here with Bellator prospect Mr. Ciaran Clarke. How you doing, man?
All's good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Good, no problem. So, where are you joining us from right now?
Just at home here, out at the back here in my room. So,
Oh, good, yeah. And you're in Drogheda, I assume, at the moment, now.
of course, yeah, that's where I'm living at the minute. Yeah.
Yeah, good. And are you still training at the moment, or did you take some time off after your fight?
This is my first week back, so I'm into this is my first week back. So I just took the week off just to rest and just take a break from just everything, And yeah, I'm just actually really enjoying the training now at the minute. So.
Good. And speaking of your fight, you're just coming off a first round TKO at a Bellator 275, which was a little under 2 weeks ago. Can you give us a bit of a breakdown about that fight?
Yeah, so I suppose just the fight itself. Fight started. I just quickly closed the distance. I knew he was even just from watching his fights, I knew he was like a long rangy fighter. He had a good bit of reach, like he had long limbs, and so I knew I had to get in close. And I knew he switched stance a lot,
Yeah.
and I seen that he came out in the fight southpaw. So I was like, right, he yeah. And then I actually, while before I got to the arena, I was watching the fights in the telly, and basically, I wanted to hit because we have this conversation with the commentators, and they kind of like give a little bit, not the game plan, but they kind of talk about what you want to go in and do. So I kind of heard what he wanted to do. It was he wanted to come in and do a lot of lateral movement, but I didn't focus on that. Like I was just thinking, like if he was anyway good, I think he would have, tried and would have done that, But obviously, straight away, as soon as the fight started, that went out the window. I just straight away closed the distance on him. Went on to the double leg. He did a good job. He was controlling the wrists. He couldn't join my hands. He did a good job, and switched to a single back to the double leg. Thought I actually had him at one stage with the double, and then he come over with the Kimura grip on the inside. Landed one or two elbows, but like it wasn't like they weren't they landed all right, but they weren't like hurting. And then I did I clamped on the arm, and this is actually where his shoulder went
Yeah,
out.
his shoulder got injured, right?
Yeah, so initially, like when it happened in the fight, obviously I didn't know. It wasn't anything that I done as far as like I didn't try to come up. In fairness, he tried to Kimura me, and I was thinking maybe while in the transition of him trying to Kimura me, that his went out. I'm not too sure because when you climb up towards the head, when they're trying to Kimura, it kind of puts a lot of pressure on their shoulder. So I was thinking maybe when it was out there, but actually watching it back, it's actually till my mate said it to me actually, because it was like a day after. And he was like, "Oh, did you watch it back?" I was like, I didn't even, it was early the next day, and he was like, "I'll watch it back." And then my brother said it to me as well, "Watch it back, you'll see actually where it went out." And I was the one that put it out. It wasn't as if like, he had an injured shoulder, or that's why it was a bit. That's why I said it was a bit bittersweet to win. But actually looking back, it definitely was a TKO, and I'm happy with the win because it was when I clamped on the Kimura and rolled through. As I rolled, because I clamped on the Kimura, that's they either hold on and hit the mat, or their head hits the mat. But his shoulder hit the mat. But if he had to let go of the Kimura, he would have posted out. But his shoulder smashed into the mat. And that's what actually happened to shoulder. And then he got up straight away. Like we separated. You could see it out. It's literally the first minute and 10 seconds. You can see it's out. And he tried his best to win after that while it was out. He tried his best, and it was, I actually would. He definitely would have took the round. He had the submission attempts, but I got on top of it towards the end, and I landed a few elbows to the body. I think, as well, if you look at the Kimura position, it was a bit of a desperation move. It wasn't like you'd never really get it from where he was trying to go for, and I think because he knew like, right, this is my last shot. And then the round ended, and I think then he wanted out. I think he tried with the shoulder out, knowing it was out. And then I think he understood, and he quit. Like he didn't want any more. I think he knew he couldn't win. Then, he knew I was coming in fresh the second and third, and then obviously his shoulder had went out from what had happened in the fight. So I definitely would take it as a TKO. Whereas when the fight was, when it happened, I didn't like. It was just a weird ending. I didn't actually know
of
what
course.
actually happened to his shoulder, but it was most definitely what I done to him. So yeah, definitely take that as a TKO win.
Yeah, great. And did you have time after the fight to see the main event of 275? It was Gegard Mousasi who came off a successful dominating title defense. Do you have any thoughts on that win?
Yeah, no, I didn't get a chance to see it,
No?
but
Okay.
because straight away, normally what happens is with I think it was due to COVID. Normally when you get the fight, you go to triage or whatever, you get looked after with the medicals. You can go up and have a shower and go backstage and stuff. Come back down into the fights. But this time it was straight away from the fights to the hotel, so it was definitely it was no time to actually even see the fights. So didn't get a chance to see Sinead Kavanagh's fight against
Yeah,
Leah.
of
Or
course, as well had a
yeah,
great
so
victory.
I didn't even get a chance to see them. So, but I definitely obviously seen the finish for Masasi, and geez, that was I actually thought your man would do well, your man Austin. Like
Yeah,
I
of
thought
course.
he'd be back and forth, but no, Masasi just goes to show like the 60 fights, MMA fights or
Yeah, of
whatever he has.
course. Experience kicks in.
Yeah, big time, big time.
Yeah. So speaking back on just onto your career, what's next for you now? Do you want to take some time off? Do you want to step back in? You said you're back in your first week of training. What's next for you?
I'd love to get something in the summer. I definitely would like to get back in there now. Hopefully, June, July would be a nice little day. There's nothing obviously confirmed for Bellator. I don't even know what their schedule is looking like, but um, I'd love to get back in there. Then as long as I'd love to just get one before the end of, I'm not too sure. Just going off the way they run things, I know they have two Bellator shows in Dublin every year. February, kind of September, October, November, that kind of like
Yes,
late
yes.
end of the year. So if it is running like that, I would definitely like one in the summer, which would make it 3 year then. So obviously all going well, definitely the one before the end of the year in Dublin. That's what I'm guessing. I actually
Yeah.
that's not
Of course,
confirmed,
actually
but
speaking, back in November, I wasn't doing media or anything. I was there as a fan, but
yeah,
I was actually live to see you. It was you went 4-0. You won. It
yeah,
was a third round submission. The
yeah,
anticipation, an amazing comeback. You had an amazing fight. The minute I saw that, that was my first time ever seeing you in action, man. And no, you had a great win. Just speaking of that,
yeah. No, that was a great win, man.
yeah,
That was a hard fought fight, obviously, and it was against a good tough opponent. And yeah, it was great to get the win. And I think because of that win, they trusted me this time to get the main card slot that when someone fell out of it. And yeah, that definitely, I suppose solidified me position that I'm in now with Bellator, and got the 4 wins in a row. Here I am in the number 5. So please God, now just keep it going. Just
of
get
course,
better from there until then, and improve on what needs to be worked on, and just enjoy training now at the minute
of
and
course.
get better.
Yeah. And given off your division, the featherweights, coming up in a few weeks, it's the most anticipated rematch. You have Patricio Pitbull gets his revenge fight at AJ McKee. Of course, you're gonna want to keep an eye out for that. That's you hopefully want to be in that position one day. How do you see a fight like that playing out?
Between the two guys,
Yeah.
yeah, between the two lads, I think I think it's going to be more competitive this time. I think it'll be kind of like people will come in now and he'll be more prepared. Not that he wasn't like, but maybe I don't know, not underestimating AJ, but like I think he was just caught a bit cold, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
he got caught very early.
yeah. I just think he maybe got caught cold, and then not taking that away from AJ. Obviously, he's a stud, like he's a beast, like. But I think it'd be definitely more competitive. It could go the whole way, and then it could be a late finish for either fighter. But being honest, I'd probably see AJ taking it again. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, and leading on to the other question, how do you see yourself standing up against a fighter like AJ McKee or Patricio Pitbull or just any of the top featherweights right now?
I suppose the two top guys, which obviously I said the two lads in the title fight.
Of
I
course.
think like as far as like, skill wise, I think, I'm not just there as in like, the title contention. Yeah, or obviously the where I am in my career, and I'm only getting started, and but as I always say, I don't like to look too far ahead,
Of
so
course.
it's hard for me to to say. I'm not too sure. I'm been 100% honest. I wouldn't, like, I just know a little bit about, like, obviously I know Pitbull. He's fought a lightweight and featherweight, and we've seen the finishes, And one thing about Pitbull as well, like, he's a very good guillotine, So I think that's his, like, secret weapon, not a secret weapon, but like that's his weapon against the wrestlers.
Of course.
So and then obviously AJ, he's a good athlete. He's sick striking as well. Obviously, me teammate Brian Moore, a great fight against him. Is very competitive, and so yeah, I'm not. All I say is I'm not there yet to be thinking about that.
Of
So
course.
I suppose I'm just yeah, different stages in my career to be thinking about that yet, but
Oh no,
definitely
definitely.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, of course. And last question, I don't want to keep you here too long.
No
I
worries.
don't know if you're familiar, like if you're keeping up with the featherweights in the UFC, and next month, Alexander Volkanovski, he's defending his belt against Chan Sung Jung. How do you see a fight like that playing out?
Yeah, to be honest, a bit surprised like that. Like Korean Zombie got that. Like, I thought, like,
He
not
stepped in
that
on
surprised.
notice, if I'm not mistaken. It was supposed to be
Yeah,
Max, and unfortunately injuries and everything happens, and he stepped
yeah,
in.
yeah. So, like, fair play to him. And do you know what? I think that'll make him dangerous. I think that'll actually, I think that'll make him dangerous, like the early rounds. And same thing with McKee and Pitbull. You might have that bit of invincibility about you, and you might get caught cold. Coming in, but I think if Volkanovski, is switched on, which he always is from a great team. The guys over there in New Zealand. I mean, it's a top team, and I think he's, great coaching behind him, and I think he'll be well switched on. Like, and I think, I think he'll know he'll be dangerous early. But that'd be an interesting one. But I could see maybe that Volkanovski getting maybe third round, maybe finish. So, but again, if Zombie was to win, it's going to be early, I think. But
Of course.
yeah, I think the champ will take it though. I obviously want to see definitely again Max and him. I think definitely him and the both lads are two very well matched. And I think Max actually won the last fight. Oh, was it the first one or he
The
won one?
second one was very controversial. It was a split
Yeah,
decision. Yeah.
yeah. I thought that was actually fairly clear. Like, and like it was competitive, obviously, but I thought like Max took the 3 rounds. Like, the ones that he did win, I thought like, he won them, but obviously it sets it up for another a trilogy.
Of course. Well, that was it. Ciaran Clarke, the Bellator prospect. Thank you very much.
Thanks a million, man.
Cheers. Thank you.